Terry. Fancy meeting you here. I just got an email from you. Actually, 17 emails. It's great to hear that you've launched your Integral Spiritual Practice online course, and your Beyond Awakening conversation series with luminaries from the integral world and beyond. And now I also know about Jane Austen's program that will help me find the purpose of my life, and also Greg Jefferson's Essential Symposium on Obliterating the Ego. Oh yes, and I was also delighted to be apprised of the upcoming Integral Corporate Experience event. Did you know, there's a planetary gathering being convened to reveal the 3 key practices for co-creating the evolution of evolution itself? I'm really looking forward to learning how to evolve beyond evolution. Free download.
Yes Marco. I'm glad your spam filter is working. Do I detect a hint of sarcasm in your voice?
I apologize, Terry. As you know, I wrote 11 of those emails myself. Please check your inbox when you get back to your iPad. There's an invoice waiting.
Right. Exactly. You know, you and I have been exploring this subject for a long time. You know quite well how uncomfortable I've been at times with sending so many marketing emails. But you know what? I've reached people who would have never otherwise known about integral spirituality. And almost every day I hear from people who are grateful. They're happier, and more conscious and open-hearted, and their life has new joy and meaning because of their integral practice. And, thanks to them, I might be able to pay your invoice.
That's quite beautiful, Terry. Yet perhaps you fail to appreciate how hip and critically intelligent I am. I so easily see through all that marketing bull. I want the real thing, Terry. I want to be real and authentic, and feel the tingle of metaphysical alignment in my soul. Why must we keep sending all these emails? Don't we want to be real integral revolutionaries, challenging the system and creating a truly integral culture, not just another advertising campaign?
I fully agree, Marco. But I know you would admit that wonderful things have happened for us all through the conferences, workshops, and seminars, and the courses, coaching, and other services of thought leaders and teachers. Without people creating and receiving payment for such offerings, it's hard to imagine how we could have any integral culture at all. We'd be stuck doing nothing but blah blah blogging and posting absurd videos on Facebook. We certainly would not have been able to meet as deeply, to be catalyzed as potently, or to have developed as much as we have. Many of us have even found lifelong love and friendships through these gatherings. Go reread Ken Wilber's essay, Right Bucks. The integral revolution must include integral entrepreneurs and conscious business practitioners, and yes, that involves selling stuff. And selling sometimes requires getting our hands dirty with effective marketing techniques. Why is that such a problem for you righteous whippersnappers?
The problem is, Terry, many of us can't afford all these gatherings and other products. What kind of a community is it where almost every significant face-to-face event costs money? Look at the Occupy movement. They're not selling tickets to change the world. They are directly challenging the corporate military-industrial state. Why aren't integral people doing that? Why are we fixated on our spiritual goods and services, while the world is burning? As the critical theorist Slavoj Žižek might say, aren't we in effect supporting the status quo with our worldview hugging, soothing our alienated egos with illusions of transcendence? That's why I think it's time to ask, is integral a community? Or is it a commodity?
Again, I agree with you, Marco. And also with my libertarian friends who would ridicule some of what you just said. Remember, we're inviting our integral brothers and sisters to become more awakened and engaged as activists, as a part of, not instead of, doing their inner spiritual work. Both are crucially important. The manifesto Occupy Integral was an attempt to mobilize our fellow integralistas so that we collectively contribute more profoundly to this moment of planetary transformation. However, we're also seeking to counter the perception that integralists are merely abstract thinkers or spiritual marketers, and not down-to-earth doers. That's why we've linked two on-the-ground integral initiatives promoting sustainability, social justice, and evolutionary leadership. Some of these use the market, and some don't. And there are many people and projects that we haven't named or of which we aren't even aware. We need more theory, and more practice, and more doing. That's what Occupy Integral means. Don't you think the distinction between integral as a commodity and a community is ultimately a false dichotomy?
Yes, that's ultimately true, Terry. But I still hope that our community will focus on growing the world-changing side of the movement more fully. A big part of the problem, it seems to me, is that there doesn't exist what we might call a true integral commons, a space of being together and working together beyond merely commercial exchanges. Instead, we have an integral marketplace filled with integral marketers that seem to be living in a parallel universe, from which they spam us. Instead of being invited to be true co-creators and collaborators, we are often treated as mere consumers. One would expect the integral community to be cohesive, integrated, and purposeful. Yet it often feels partial, fragmented, and self-absorbed. I believe the commodification of integral consciousness is partly responsible for that.
I so resonate, Marco. We are agreed. So let's do what we can to evolve that dynamic. Let's help co-create an authentic integral commons. But realize also that the problem may be more of perception than substance. Many of the people who are actually doing integral work in the world are not marketing themselves. They do not spend their time on Facebook. They're too busy actually getting shite done. That's probably why we don't hear about them. And as for the so-called spamming, get off it already. Why don't you unsubscribe instead of whining about it? You are upsetting my deep samadhi.
Well, I do want to know what's going on and what's being offered in the integral world. And actually, I want to support all these projects. And I do feel that some real and deep relationships and community have formed because of offerings like your course, and like the Integral Incubator I did last summer with Jeff Salzman and Noma Ali Pereira. I love those peeps. Still, what I long to see more of is integral leaders challenging the rules of the game, rather than merely playing the same old game. I would love to see an innovative integral economy being enacted to support a thriving integral market, and a vibrant integral commons, and a healthy integral community. Let's instigate that. Besides, we need to reach beyond the integral ghetto if we're going to sell a zillion books so that I can finally afford to attend more seminars, not to mention keep buying the organic food that I love.
That's a worthy goal. But to help us get there, it would help if you snarky critics take a chill pill. Instead of tearing down the integral market, why not practice the generosity of forgiving those messages that might not resonate with your superior aesthetics, but which might still serve a practical purpose? Can you trust that there is a true, good, and beautiful intention beneath what might, at times, appear to be hype? Mustn't we create a space of appreciation for the challenges we're all facing, living in these difficult times of fragmented community and attention? That surely must include the creators of these offerings, who, as you know, are endeavoring to sustain themselves just like everybody else. Sometimes they go a bit overboard, but so what? Ultimately, they are enlarging the playing field for everyone. As people of integral awareness and good faith, can we get past our relatively superficial divisions and embrace a solidarity that transcends our generational, financial, and aesthetic gaps?
You're saying, let marketing be marketing. Give unto Bill Harris what is Bill Harris's.
Well, I wouldn't go that far.
Me neither. But won't people say that you're defending a certain kind of marketing just because you want to market your course?
Probably. You just did. But who among us is perfectly pure? You've seen photos of the Occupy protesters using their corporate-made cell phones and laptops to protest corporate rule. Isn't the stance of being beyond hypocrisy the most hypocritical of all? In fact, since we're all participants in unsustainable and imbalanced socio-politico-economic systems, every single one of us must dare to endure some hypocrisy as soon as we embrace the intention to evolve and transcend the structures that are sustaining us.
Are you suggesting that Slavoj Žižek wipes his ass with capitalist toilet paper?
What?
Never mind. Thanks. Listen, I think we should pay for our industrial convenience foods and get out of here. I have a lot of writing to do.
No problem. Thanks for chatting, Marco. Before we go, let's give a shout out to the integral trolls for blazing the evolutionary path of making these ridiculous videos.
Those bitches. LOL. I'm going to go home and delete all those emails now.
Sounds good. Be well, my friend. Viva la integral revolución.
That was adequate Spanish, Terry.
Relájase, mi amigo.
Adios, everyone.